Alright, thanks again for joining. This time I'm going to go over making good quality plots and pulling up tables or listing results, I should say. So I have this really simple plate here that I've locked against. I've set this area with zero displacement. I am pulling down on those two key points on the bottom right here with about 400 pounds of force, and this is a steel plate. So I'm going to hit solve current, do the normal rigmarole here, and now I want to plot my results. So I go to General Post Processing, plot results, and let's say I want to plot the stresses in this guy. So I'll go to Contour Plot, Nodal Solution, Stress in this menu, and then I pick von Mises stress, and I'm going to hit OK. And look, almost none in the plate except right at the corners where I've pulled. So you've got stress concentrations at those tips, which I guess makes sense. So if I wanted to zoom in and show just that corner where the stress concentrations are, I can right click and drag and make this box here. And there's my stresses there. So that's one the quick, easy way to do a plot. So if I wanted to, so when ANSYS plots, it's basically exaggerating the deflection most of the time, so you can actually see what's happening here. So if I did a side view here, I can see that it's deflecting downwards, but I can see here the actual deflection is 10 or 15 thousandths of an inch, 15 thou, so it's really not that much because this dimension is a whole inch. So if I went to that same menu, contour plot nodal solution, von Mises, down here is a scale factor. So I can put in true scale. Notice it's automatically scaling at 32 times to make us see it. So if I put in true scale, it would show, you can barely notice that 15 thousandths of deflection. So that's changing the scale there. So if I wanted to do user specified and say I wanted to really exaggerate it, there you go, there's more deflection. So that's the stress plot there. Other thing here that I can do is I can do different components of the stress, like we did in the cylinder lab, for second and third for radial, longitudinal, and tangential stress or hoop stress. But if I wanted to go and do the displacement, I could plot. So if I wanted to see how far this is deflected down in the z direction, I could put in z component of displacement, and I've got this nice rainbow effect where I see down on the blue is where it's deflected the most. And there's my max right there is 0.0, 15 thousandths in the negative z direction. Alright, so those are the two different, the main types of plots you're going to use. So let's say I wanted to make a really good looking plot of this. Obviously this is a very simple square, but if I had a complex model and I wanted it to look, look clean and have good colors and good lines, what I could do, first of all, sometimes when you solve, it'll show you all of your nodes that you, so when you mesh you have that big white ugly grid. Sometimes it'll show that when you solve. So to get rid of that white mesh, you can go to Plot Controls, Style, Edge Options, and this element outline style you can put to none and hit replot, and that will get rid of all those white lines. So here, when I plotted it, didn't have them, I guess by luck this time, maybe it's with solid elements, but anyways, often with beam elements, you'll have that nasty white grid that'll be hiding your colors, hiding your deflection, your stresses. So that's how to do that, to get rid of those. And so if you want to do a really good quality plot, you're going to want to angle this the right way to get highlight the stresses that you want to show or whatever you want to display. So if I wanted to show displacement, I could do a side view and I could get the displacement, highlight the curve of this beam. But if I wanted to show the whole thing, I'd have to angle it this way. Make sure to zoom in enough so that your model fills up most of your screen. And if you want to be, real accurate, real good, you can do a query result. Sorry, not accurate, but if you want to display more information, you can go to query results down here, hit subgrid solution, and you could choose anything that you can plot in the plot results menu. So if I wanted to show displacement, like I have this plot right here, but then I wanted to also show where the max stress would be, I could click stress and von Mises and hit OK. And then in this little menu here, I can try and pick a node to display that at, or I can just hit max right here. And then hit this generate 3D annotation button. Make sure to do that. And there it goes. It shows me my max stress is right there in the corner. So you have to clarify that this is a displacement plot, but we've highlighted the max stress. That might be a little confusing. So, but I've got this angle the right way. I've got my notations here that I've wanted. And now I am going to make it look good. So if I go to plot controls and this nifty best quality image, we can go to create best quality, click that one, and we have a lot of options here. So tessellation, resolution, basically how nice do you want those lines to be. Obviously in mine you can see it's kind of got jagged edges, so if you go to normal or fine, you can make the tessellations smoother, look more like smooth curves. Usually I select no background, but if you want to do like a shaded background, so have it go from one color to another, you can definitely do that. And I'm going to choose dark gray down here at the bottom. Anyway, you get your settings, you hit OK, and then you see I've got a lot less tessellation there on those curves. I don't know if you can see on that resolution, but I've got this nice, faded gray background. It looks good. And now if you wanted to save this plot, you can go to plot controls and capture image. That'll just take a snapshot of what you've got on the screen there. And then you can just go to File, Save As, save it wherever you want, and it's going to be a bitmap, but anything can edit a bitmap. Let's give it a name, etc., etc. This is a lot better than doing the hard copy, because a hard copy just prints to whatever folder you're working in and gives it some random name. So plot controls and capture image is the best. So if you want to get rid of these display settings, you can go to plot controls, reset colors, or reset to previous, or if you want to reset everything, reset to globals. And that just removes everything. Then you've got to do another plot. So if you want to get rid of this black background and have a white background, you can go to plot controls, style, colors, and reverse video. That gives you a white background. So that's often nice for printing, so you don't have to print a giant black background. But if you're doing a digital presentation, giving it a colored shaded background always looks good. But one thing you're going to want to do is label this thing. So put it into your favorite, editor, photo editor, even Word works, and put some text boxes or whatever, and label these units. So you're going to want to, write in inches right here, PSI. Or sorry, this is also inches on a displacement plot. But anyway, you're going to want to label these, and if you want to, you can put your own, instead of using the query results, so you can put in your own text box with arrows or whatever, highlighting and pointing out whatever you want to point out in your plot. So that's pretty much it for generating good quality plots. Just make sure that it looks clean, that you've got the right view to display what you want to highlight, and that you use the best quality image tool under plot controls, best quality image. Thank you very much for watching, and we will cover using tables in the next video.